Welcome to Ladies Group Chat, where fangirls spiral and the dating advice has actual standards. Today has everything: a reality TV celebrity sighting, an iPhone betrayal, and a baby brand discovering that edgy copy can absolutely ruin the vibe. Also, if your dating profile still says you're apolitical, people are reading that like a warning label. Remy running into Boston Rob at a habit and instantly turning into a nervous TikTok documentarian is deeply relatable. That's the funny thing about niche fame. A movie star is distant. A reality star at a sandwich place feels spiritually illegal. He apparently sent a charming DM back, which is best case scenario for a starstruck encounter, and honestly better customer service than most apps. And I loved the side effect here. She used it to apologize to a friend she'd once teased for fangirling. Growth, humility, Boston Rob as a moral lesson. Same energy on the cookbook tour anxiety. Sold-out events, huge support, and still spiraling over something like a signature for the signing table. That is creator brain in one image. The halftime conversation got interesting because people weren't just talking about vocals or choreography, they were talking about meaning. The real people on the grass, the vendors who were actual small businesses, the staged weddings and proposals, the women-owned shout-outs, all of that made the show feel community-minded on purpose. So when people started nitpicking authenticity or nationality, the pushback made sense. If you were in the building, it didn't read like tokenism, it read like intentional representation. And honestly, that kind of backlash always tells on itself a little. Some people see Latinx culture centered for 5 seconds and suddenly become production purists. If your iPhone alarms have gone mysteriously silent, congratulations, you're in the support group now. Remy had multiple alarms fail while traveling, and the weird detail was that some alarm types seemed broken while others still worked. Very cool, very restful. Love that for nobody. TikTok was already on it, which usually means it's not just your phone being quirky. It's probably Apple doing one of its silent little public experiments on us. The practical fix list is painfully simple. Check which alarm type you're using, reboot your phone like a grown-up, and set backup alarms because trust is over. On skincare, the Milia talk was useful because people keep trying to treat those like regular pimples, and they're not. They're those tiny pearl-like cysts under the skin, and going after them at home can leave you scarred and still annoyed. Professional removal exists for a reason. The bigger point was even better. Enough with the 20-step pandemic skincare Olympics. A simpler routine is usually kinder to your face and your wallet. Remy also shouted out a sulfur spot treatment from The Ordinary, which she said worked fast, and I respect any product recommendation that arrives with visible gratitude instead of mystical claims. That same practical energy carried over to workouts and sleep. One brutal class that destroys your body for 4 days is not actually superior to several easier sessions you'll repeat. And the sleep point was so basic, it loops back to genius. Go to bed when you're tired. Revolutionary, I know. But waking up before the alarm feeling restored is a very convincing endorsement. Also, massages can make you completely useless for the rest of the day, which is true and somehow never discussed with enough honesty. Travel remains a haunted obstacle course. Remy had a TSA pre-check situation where it showed on the ticket but didn't scan, and suddenly paperwork meant nothing. That is the most airport thing imaginable. An agent can literally see the status, but if the machine says no, you go stand in the regular suffering line. Then there's Southwest changing its long-standing boarding norms and confusing everybody into near-family separations. People can adapt to almost anything except unclear boarding logic. Frida Baby catching heat for trying to be raunchy on Maine was one of those completely avoidable brand disasters. If you sell trusted baby products, maybe don't hit parents with captions about threesomes and packaging copy like "I'm a power sucker and expect applause." The issue wasn't just that it was cringe, it felt off-brand in a way that damages trust. And parenting communities do not forget who made them feel weird at 2 a.m. The smarter response would have been simple. Some posts missed the mark, we heard you, we're fixing it. Instead, the defensive energy made it bigger. Disney Plus doing a Hannah Montana anniversary special hosted by Alex Cooper sounds like one of those ideas that is fine on paper and wrong in the soul. Because what fans want is not a very polished nostalgia panel. They want Miley singing, immediately, repeatedly. The frustration here is fair. Miley has dropped enough nostalgia crumbs that people are expecting a performance payoff, not a friend-style sit-down with reaction shots. A concert, a Hollywood Bowl live stream, even a backyard sessions version would hit so much harder than interview-heavy memory lane. The dating section had one clean thesis: effort is the new currency. And honestly, good. Planning a date, checking in after a night out, sending the song or article that made you think of someone that lands harder than vague talk about ambition. They even cited that 72% of women on Hinge prefer more effort over higher income, which feels exactly right. Money is nice. Intentionality is hot. Also, stop leading with ex-hate. If your opening act is "my ex was crazy," people are not hearing victimhood. They're hearing paperwork. Politics as a deal breaker is also just reality now. For a lot of people, that's not trivia. It's values, safety, and whether you can share a life without spiritual eye-rolling. And I loved the push for chalance, meaning be vulnerable, be clear, and stop playing detached little games in your 30s and 40s. Scarce in availability, not emotion. Voice notes fit perfectly into that. One audio clip can reveal chemistry, humor, or an immediate no. Sometimes a text thread is promising until the voice note arrives and your body files a complaint. Then your friends step in as emotional co-pilots, which can be amazing if they actually want your piece and not a subplot for the group chat. AI matchmaking is trying to formalize all of this by screening for intent and punishing bad behavior, which sounds great until an algorithm starts overvaluing the exact same shallow preferences humans already overdo. A lot of celebrity discourse right now is basically people turning a split-second glance into a federal case. Whether it's a red carpet snub, Brooks Nader getting sick on a private jet, or an influencer breakup announcement with carefully managed wording, the public image is always cleaner than the real human mess underneath. That's probably the through line of this whole episode. Fame still looks glamorous from far away, but up close it's anxiety, logistics, branding, panic, and somebody missing their alarm. That's it for Ladies Group Chat. Protect your skin barrier, double set your alarms, and if Miley is making us do a reunion, she owes us at least one chorus. This episode was generated by Podkey. Create your own at podkey.fm.